hello, everybody. Get on in this room. Come on in this room today, y'all. I need everybody, Lottie Dottie, everybody, come on into the room. Come in the room. Welcome to the Laverne Spicer Hood Conservative Podcast. And when you come in this room, please retweet. Please retweet. Please retweet the show. Okay. And my guest today is Sophia and Travion, my co-host Travion. So, welcome, ladies. Welcome, Sophia.
What's up? It's been a while. Oh
Travion.
my gosh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I know we have some powerful topics to touch on today. I've got an update on a course of events from yesterday in DC. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it started.
Hey, Rev, Damien, how you doing? Tommy, thank you, and good afternoon to you too. Reverend has a book out on his page, and you could go to his page and you could get the book from off of Amazon. And he also sent me a free copy. So yes,
Oh,
the
nice.
book is great.
But
Nice.
did you read it? Did you read it is the question.
Yes, I read the book. I read the book.
All right.
So
Make the
anyway,
people want to buy it. Give a little excerpt on his book.
okay, the book is very good. You know, it's a conservative book, and it's about being a conservative. And you're welcome. You're so welcome. So, like I said, y'all go. It's about from a black man, black conservative point of view. So go read the book. I'm not telling you nothing about the book. I'm just saying go read
Yeah.
it, get it. Go to
Go
his
read it.
page on Amazon and read it for yourself. So when next time we have
Right?
this show, you can come and tell us about the book. How about that?
Exactly.
How about what? Okay. So anyway, moving right around, right on, like Travian said, we got some really interesting things, for you guys today. And I want to talk about is it USAID?
Yes.
Let's talk about them. And we're going to talk about some of the things that these funds is used for because I want to wait. We got about 800 people in the room, and everybody in, please retweet the show. Please retweet
Retweet,
the show.
retweet,
So
retweet.
we retweet, everybody retweet, everybody retweet. Tell everybody to come into this room, okay? Because let me tell y'all something. When we don't really know what's going on as people, right? And we're looking at agencies like USAID, right? I think somebody need to turn their volume down on their phone because for some reason, Sophia, check your stuff because we haven't had any yeah, that's it what it is, whatever it was. But anyway, when we look at these type of organizations, right? And we believe what they show us. So these people have been, we've been seeing them like feeding people around the world, like, because that's what they're saying they do. Like the people that are starving in Africa, the people that are hungry in these other countries. This is what these people are saying that they have been doing for years, right? So we're going to really we're going to follow that money trail and we're going to talk about where that money, you're right, Eric. It's a scam. Okay.
It is.
So Travion, I know you got it too, right? The
I
list.
do, and I actually kind of tried to break it down into things because you sent a video, and so I wanted to get a full list, tack by play, of where this money was going to exactly. So from child trafficking, $50 million in condoms to Pakistan. Where do we pull the plug on these nefarious activities? There's so much. What we've uncovered is just the tip of the iceberg. This has been
Okay, so
going on for decades and
for
decades,
decades.
and this
And
we are
we're gonna
going
dive. Go
exactly.
ahead.
So
Okay,
right
we're gonna
now,
dive.
what has been found is about $2 trillion. And these were current events. These were the events where when this started 20 years ago. We have been bamboozled out of a minimum
Yeah.
of $2 trillion. That's my money. That's your money. That's everybody in this room's money. And so, Doge, in my opinion, it was absolutely necessary. We've got now congressmen and senators who have elected not to run again because they've got the Doge balls. So we're eliminating a lot of this waste, but there's so much more to uncover because the smart politicians have hid the money when it's harder to find. These
Yeah.
situations actually we were able to easily uncover, but there's so much more money, not even talking about where the money from Ukraine or that was supposed to go to Ukraine went. I mean, we're missing a good $170 billion. Okay, and that's just there. So Laverne, I'll let you take on what it is that you picked out from this large group of fraud that we've seen from USA.
Okay, good. So we're going to dive into this list a little bit. And this is where your tax paying dollars are going. Okay. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm just going to hit and miss. Okay. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. Okay. 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. Over 10 million to terrorist groups. 4.67 million to Echo Health Alliance, one of the key non-governmental organizations funding bat virus at Wuhan Institute in the late 2021, and they later refused to answer key questions. Oh, there it is. There it is, y'all. Y'all can fact check it.
Yep.
Fact check it right there. Now, this is the thing, you know, right about now, it's still so much in the air. We still have so many people sick. I know I had the flu for about a couple of weeks myself. And people are really sick. You know, we have the COVID virus, the N1S1 flu, and all type of stuff is in the air. This stuff is still in the air. And they're also saying that over 18,000 people have died from the flu. Okay.
Not even that. The guy who was over USAID was found to be using escort services, so he resigned. So when you have the leader of USAID using USAID funds for escorts, we have a big problem. Big
That
problem.
part right there. Hi, Janie. Good afternoon to you too. I don't know if you all can see the chat in the comments, but you can see who's talking and everything. Okay, outline a 150 billion whole of agency approach to building an equitable $7.97 million project to Sri Lanka journalists to avoid binary gender language.
That's ridiculous. I can't.
1.1 million to Armenian LGBT group. And check this one out. 1.2 million to the African Methodist Episcopal Church Service and Development Agency in Washington, D.C. to build a state-of-the-art 440-seat auditorium. 1.3 million to Arab and Jewish photographers. 1.1 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. And y'all know that ain't about to happen.
That ain't happening.
That ain't about to happen.
That's a
Okay?
whole lie.
Because some Jamaicans do not play that. They don't play with the Chichi man over there, okay? You go over there twisting with your LGBT, you getting ready to get your QRST cut off, okay? Because they don't play that in Jamaica. 1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. 2 million to promote
It's still going.
LGBT equality through entrepreneurship in Latin American countries. And I'm not reading all of it.
Oh
2.5
no.
million to promote inclusion in Vietnam. Everything is about LGBT.
L- yeah, that
Check
seems to
this.
be the theme. What's
Yes,
up with that?
check this out. 5.5 million to LGBT in Uganda. In Uganda.
First of all, I've been to Uganda. Actually, I've met with the president of Uganda. I was there with Kanye West. The president of Uganda is against the LGBTQ movement. So I
Wow.
anticipate that these funds were sort of a under the table slide. You know, you do what you need, you know, whatever resources we need from you, you make sure your country gives that to us. That's what that exchange is. A lot of these places where these LGBTQ funds went to, they're completely against that movement. So these were all under the table payments disguised as US aid grants funding. So, you know, I can tell you I've been with the president of Uganda, and I can tell you that they are totally against that. They were paid for some, you know, I'm not going to say that because I do know the man, well, I've met the man, but no, definitely not an LGBTQ payment or fund or grant or however they wanted to disguise that as.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they was
what would even be implemented? Like, just realistically thinking about it, what are they going to do? Are they going to, deliver books? Like, how do you present an agenda to a
Great. I'm glad
country
you
who?
asked. So what they did in Nigeria is they create these false daycare centers or child care centers as if it is that they are actually using the funds. I know Nigerians who have created an entire air force fleet with no airplanes. So they can conjure up these ways to make it seem as if these funds are going to the presented entity. It is not true. All of this money has gone into the pockets of leaders of these countries, friends in these countries that they needed different favors from, whether it was their natural resources, children for trafficking. You know, these
Yeah.
USA funds, they aided, you know, and abetted a lot of criminality, you know, within this agency. And I am so glad that they are tearing it apart piece by piece. But there's so much more that has been hidden, and I'm hoping that they'll be able to find it. But I do love seeing, you know, the announcements of these politicians who were busted,
Yeah.
claiming that they will no longer be running next election. So it's doing some, we're getting some type of justice. Maybe not all that we deserve, and I know that it takes time, but we are getting some justice.
well, I do believe it's coming because they know Trump is on their ass like white on rice. So and he's not gonna give up until he
Right?
get them. And so a lot of them are just saying, "Hey, I resign." So do us all a favor and resign before he
And
get to you
go.
because they gonna let everybody know what your little happy behind been doing, behind closed doors all of these years while you're pretending to do one thing. And like Jamie said in the comments, you and I work for this. I can't afford my hard medicine on Medicare, you know.
And
So
further, even talking about Medicare, Social Security is not depleted. They were stealing our
They were
Social
stealing.
Security funds. So I understand how important Medicare may be to her. But you have to understand, we have governmental entities that have continually siphoned these Social Security dollars that we also work for. So I'm glad the cleaning of the house is happening. Um, we've got a lot of work to do. And it's not even just at the federal level. We've got to look at how it trickled down into the state levels and the local levels, you know. So there's a lot of work to be done.
I know that some Democrats are trying to bring up the fact that it's affecting farmers, but there are even farmers that are saying that they're being forced into treating the grain and everything that they're producing to put through USAID. So it's not like they're just, able to operate the way that they want. In order for them to get this money, they need to do
Play ball.
something to the products that they're sending overseas. And then when you think about the different type of things that we suffer because of what they put in our food, I'm happy that, I'm all about our farmers making money and being secure. But if you're being forced to do extra to the grain and the food and the things that you're sending abroad, I would rather you just leave it alone and just keep it here. But I noticed that they're trying to be slick with trying to say that, oh, it's hurting our farmers, it's hurting our farmers. I'm like, well, if y'all gonna have to bleed a little bit in order for us to heal, y'all gonna have to just bleed. And
Yeah,
the farmers aren't necessarily teamed up with that whole narrative that they're being hurt by this. Everybody gonna heal by it. It's gotta happen.
I think there's just a lot of political grandstanding, so they have to find any way, any entry that they can to make this administration look bad. Trump's done
Yes.
more for this country in 3 weeks. He hasn't even been in
Yes,
office, a full term.
yes,
In three
yes,
weeks, he's
yes,
done more for this country than any other politician has done in 4 years. So we are now looking at the Gulf of America. This is
yes,
Yes.
this was like an
Yes.
instantaneous thing.
absolutely.
And so you've got, the president of Mexico trying to fight Google because they now list the former Gulf of Mexico
Gulf of
as the
America.
Gulf of America. So look, nobody can say that Trump hasn't done a world of good in a small amount of time. Anybody that's fighting it, you're going to lose, because guess what? Even the things that you don't think Trump can change, realize anything can change by the stroke of a pen by
Yes.
Congress. And guess who's in control of Congress? So everybody needs to rethink trying to fight against this grain. You'd be better working with this administration as opposed to working against it.
Against it. Right. Absolutely.
Okay, and it never ceased to amaze me. Like when you talk about the farmers, we know that a lot of farmers need funds for their farms, right?
Yes.
But this the thing with all these funds that they have been sending around the world for this stupidity. These are funds that could have stayed here to help make a difference with the farmers, the food banks, and the homeless and everything else that's going on in this country. Okay, so also $6 million to advance LGBT in priority countries around the world. 6 million to transform digital spaces to reflect feminist, democratic principles. 6.3 million, listen to this, to men who have sex with men in South Africa. Okay. Um Also 16.8 million to a separate group in Vietnam for inclusion. Inclusion.
Who else is living in Vietnam but Vietnamese people?
Yeah, it's definitely a large Vietnamese population. You will rarely see some Africans or foreigners, but you are on the territory of the Vietnamese platform. I've been to Ho Chi Minh City, and I didn't see anybody but Vietnamese people the entire time. I went off of out of the city a little bit into a little bit more rural area, and then I saw some, I'm going to say there were African workers, but I didn't see anybody outside of tourism, tourists like myself.
Right.
So yeah, I don't understand. But like I said, all of this money went to acquaintances and people who needed
Yeah.
favors from those regions. So I'm glad that the door has been kicked in on it and everybody's running scared.
They would have to show me one flyer, just one flyer promoting what kind of inclusivity that they can have.
I
Because
wish I
when you
could.
think,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, go ahead.
I just don't understand it. It These things, we're the only country that I know of that's not as nationalist as everywhere else that you've had on that list. You know what I'm saying? Like we have
Yeah.
all the immigrants coming here and
Right.
changing things up. So we don't have just American. We got Vietnamese American, Korean American, this American, that American. So I could be reasonable and think that, okay, we need some inclusion going on. We need to recognize how our Vietnamese brothers and sisters could be more acclimated with America so that we can get them nationalized, get them feeling America and not quite, discount who they are. But to take that into a country where where it's, immersed in their own culture and the things that they're doing, what is there to drive inclusivity with what? It sounds
Right.
like it is a slush fund where they're hooking up their people and
Yep.
allowing them to live overseas. Like that sounds mad, it's suspect in the least. Mad suspect.
Well, we've had
Inclusivity.
some brilliant unveilings of where this money has been going. So is that Marsha Blackburn? No, that's not Marsha Blackburn. Okay.
Go ahead, G.
USAID awarded $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming healthcare in Guatemala. So to each of you this morning, does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for trannies in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million? Yes or no, Governor?
I have no position.
Of course you don't. Okay,
You can't even
USAID
say
awarded
tranny
over
on X.
$750,000 to fund alleviating loneliness among migrant garment workers in India. Does this advance America's interests, Governor?
No.
No. I have no position.
USAID awarded $1.5 million for providing a gender-sensitive response to migration at the Venezuelan border. Does this advance America's interests, Governor?
No.
No. I have no position.
Does this advance the interest? Okay, so USAID awarded $4.3 million on October 1st, 2023 to a group to fund comprehensive health services for men having sex with other men in South Africa. Does this advance the interests of American citizens, Governor?
No.
No. I have no position.
I bet you don't. Okay. USAID awarded $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities by promoting economic empowerment and opportunity for LGBTQI plus people in Serbia. Does this advance America's interests?
No.
No. Nope.
You have no idea, right? Okay.
This is where we are. This is where we are.
Wow.
And you get prepped for this hearing to say, I have no position. So as to absolve your guilt in actually knowing, like this is, it's got to come to an end. I'm happy that all these people are being put on Front Street. It's so necessary because the average American worker, without Doge at this point, we would have no idea. I would say even for myself, I would not know, where all of this money had been going, since 2000 or whenever they started USA. Was it 2007?
Since JFK. They started this. JFK is the one that signed the EO.
1968, 63.
Yes.
I don't even know when he died. But yeah, wow. That's crazy. This is how long we've been ripped off. So
we had a whole
You know
Bush.
what's so amazing is the fact, with these commercials that they were showing back in the day with the US AID, feeding people, and you would have just thought, hey, they are just providing food for these countries,
Yes.
for these people that
Right.
really need it the most. But when they go and snatch the covers off and we get a chance to see what these people have really been doing with our taxpayer dollars and how they have really been making a complete fool of the American people. We deserve justice.
oh yeah.
For the people deserve justice, and like I say, it's just totally unbelievable. And just looking at this stuff, it makes you wonder what all are they really hiding, especially when you're talking about, some of our Congress members that are in office, like Ilhan Omar,
Yes.
who let everybody know her priority is not to the American people, but her priority is to Somalia. So why is she here in this country? She
After
should
she
be in
married her brother.
Somalia representing Somalia. And this is one of the problems when we allow these people to get elected in the first place, and their interest is solely the countries that they are from. And that's where they sending all the damn taxpayer dollars to.
There's not an immigrant that comes into this country that doesn't send the money that they make back to their
Thank
country.
you.
And so this is,
Thank you.
and I know that across the board, they're all sending money to their mothers, their grandmothers. Somebody needed a surgery. And they will collect 70% of what they make here and send it back there. They'll live poorly here to send money back. So another thing on this, since I'm just going to be on this immigration topic, I was actually sent an email from a restaurant chain on how they are preparing their employees to deal with ICE if they show up at the restaurants. They are telling their employees not to sign any paperwork. I'm assuming ICE makes you sign something when they arrive. They are telling them how to have the back line workers exit their restaurant through basement contraptions. I know a gentleman who owns a string of restaurants. And his employee sent me the email how they are preparing their employees to evade ICE. So yesterday in DC, I actually shared that email with some people at an event, and ICE has to change how they handle their protocol. At this point,
Right.
they within their comrades, they have to decide where they're going to go, because now we have the FBI giving up tips on where ICE is. People who are family members of people in the FBI will go to certain areas where ICE is going to be showing up and tell the people, look, ICE is on their way. You have to go. ICE has been 60% less effective as they would be because of all of this tattling, this evasion by the FBI. We need to, like I said on the show last week or the week before, we need a civilian task force in order to handle, working with ICE and on the federal level to help get rid of some of these immigrants, because we still have people who have left their job. They've taken that 8-month stipend that President Trump has given them to say, hey, if you don't want to come to work and you want to leave here, we're going to give you 8 months pay so you can, have enough time to take care of your family and find new employment. But these people are still the problem, because the few people that remained in their positions are leaking information to them who are no longer working in the federal government, and they are making a huge debacle out of what ICE is trying to do. So yesterday I did get to share that information firsthand, and I'm sure that restaurant may be closing down because the owner of the restaurant sent the email to their employees, and one of the employees gave me the email, and I shared that in DC yesterday.
Good.
Also, Congresswoman Omar, once again, the same thing.
Who
She was
married her
telling the
brother.
Somalians how to avoid, what to say in the event that they are confronted by ICE. She told them everything that they need to do so that they would not be deported. So who is she working for? Is she working for Somalia? Is she working for this country? Because I truly believe that, she already said it. She's working for Somalia.
She is.
She's a
So
con
why
artist.
would the constituents keep voting for her in the first place?
Because she brought in
Wasn't it
most of the
Obama
Somalian
that had all
population.
those refugees come in? Trevion, I know that but it's
She
like as if it
actually
was
brought
deliberate.
she brought in an entire Somalian population to make sure that she would stay in office. But I will tell you, this right here, this woman is the biggest con artist ever. Anybody who will marry their brother to beat the system does not belong in our government. And for the life of me, I do not know why this woman has not been erased from her position, because it's shown now that she came here and violated the law by marrying her own brother. So I'm expecting, and that was a conversation in DC yesterday too. She's on the hot box. So I don't know what's going to happen with her, but there's definitely a conversation on her.
Well, if they don't make moves to remove her, then we know that they've been complicit. Just when you think about everything going back to JFK with USAID, MAGA is so different in the approach to how it really looks at how to govern this country. And it has seriously put us first. That's why they don't want us to think stuff like America first, because then when you start talking about trying to stop AIDS in, other countries, that's where our heart's supposed to bleed.
Right.
That was just a whole globalist agenda, even with the immigration. It's just to weaken any kind of American nationalism. It's just to weaken any type of strength that we could pull together in numbers. And they're making sure to silence a lot of, from what I can see, Black Americans by bringing in all these other faces so that when they try to treat them kindly, then it shows them as not being racist or having an agenda against the Black people that have already been here and been making the strides that have already been here. It just seems
Exactly.
like
Well,
it's
well,
just
I think they
nefarious and
try.
just dirty.
I think it's the American people, period, that they really
Yeah.
don't give a damn about. It's not just Black people, it's bigger than us. I think it's just American people, period, because, these attacks, to me, it's just an attack on our country, on our Constitution, against our amendments and everything else, because they have no love at all for this country. They have no love at all for the people of the country. This is all about them and their country and how they can benefit from, being here and off our taxpayer dollars, which they have all access to, while the American people and our veteran populations and our seniors continue to suffer. And a lot of the veterans are homeless, but who gives a damn? I mean, we had a Black lady in Detroit, and I just sent you the story about her, the young Black lady that had 2 kids, and the 2 kids, they were homeless, staying in the van. She ran out of gas, so she had no heat in the van, and her 2 kids froze to death. They
Oh,
died, and this happened recently in Detroit. But we have millions of dollars, and according to the article, this lady had reached out to like several programs, but nobody helped her. That's why having a safety net in place is so important when it comes to saving people lives, because a lot of times it's just the small things that can actually make a difference when it comes to helping people. Like my program, I have a food bank, but suppose with somebody coming, they didn't have anything to eat, period, they about to die, but at least
yeah,
the people know they can come here and get food, plenty of it.
yeah.
Come and get plenty, that's not even an issue. But what about in these other places? A safety net is really needed, especially for something like this to happen in Detroit, Michigan. I want to say hello to everybody that is joining us right now on the Hood Conservative podcast, Laverne Spicer Show. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Nora, I saw you are here. Nora said Obama brought them in now 500K. They are radical, and she is their leader. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
He helped her. Of course, he helped her with that. Miss IRS, illegals are taking well-paying jobs that belong to our children. Okay. Well, anyway, thank everybody. Thank you all for joining. Please retweet. Please retweet the show, and please follow our guests. Go ahead on, G. That's the story. This is so heartbreaking, y'all. I mean, come on. We in one of the richest countries on earth,
Yeah.
and to think that something like this is taking place. Go ahead, G. You can.
Mother trying to cope with a heartbreaking family tragedy is speaking out tonight to 7 News Detroit. She had been living in a van parked at the Hollywood Casino parking garage with her 4 children when the unthinkable happened. 2 of them died from what appears to be hypothermia. 7 News Detroit reporter Brett Cass telling us the mom says she tried to get help for her homeless family, but no one answered the call until it was too late.
I lost the one who made me a mother. I lost a 2-year-old. I'm dying inside. It hurt. I feel like my heart is breaking. And I have 2 more kids to live for.
It's been a long journey for Tatiana Williams, with an even tougher battle ahead. She spent the last 3 months living in a van with her children.
And I regret having to sleep out there so bad. I tell them I'm sorry, but I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me.
1 a.m. on Monday morning, they parked at the Hollywood Greektown Casino parking garage in below freezing temps. Overnight, the car ran out of gas, and the next day, her 9-year-old son was not breathing.
I tried to give him CPR, and I was just giving him CPR. I just kept saying, Fetty, don't leave me. Don't leave me, please.
After a friend helped take him to the hospital, her 2-year-old daughter was also found unresponsive. Both were later pronounced dead from what appears to be hypothermia.
She didn't even get to live her life. She didn't get to do nothing. She lost her life because I had to sleep in the car.
In a press conference, the mayor and city leaders confirmed that Tatiana did call the city's homeless response team back in November, but nothing ever came of it.
At least as far as we've been able to determine so far, the family never called back again for service. And as far as we've been able to tell, our homeless staff never proactively reached out to say, what happened with your situation? Was it resolved?
Mayor Duggan is now calling for a review of the city's homeless services, while Tatiana is now in a shelter and her kids are with relatives.
It took my 2 kids to die for y'all to help me. It just don't work like that. It hurt losing 2 kids in one night. You know, I don't wish this on nobody. And if you can get help, please go get help. Because I don't want nobody else to go through what I'm feeling.
Oh
The new
my
McFall
gosh.
Brothers Funeral Home here in Detroit is providing funeral services for these children free of charge to the family. Now, if you are homeless or on the verge of homelessness, you can call 866-313-2520. We also have more resources listed on our website, wxyz.com.
You know, this is a damn shame in America that this had to happen, you know. And the point is they could put their legals up in hotels, they could come up with funds for them. And when they come to these homeless facilities, you know, these homeless agencies, beds are never available. Beds are not never available. You know, it's like you call the suicide prevention hotline and they put you on hold, but you're ready to commit suicide. You know, it's like if it weren't for bad luck, you have no luck at all. So this is the type of situation that these people are experiencing. You know, like she said, she called the homeless hotline. When you call the homeless hotline, they gonna send. It's a process. You got to go and register with the 1-800 number, right? And then what, like she said, nobody ever follow up with her. A lot of times these people have all type of mental issues. So, you know, she got kids to look after. She's panicking. You know, what am I going to feed these kids? How am I going to help get through another day? Her mindset isn't on, oh, I need to call the homeless hotline back. Her mindset is, well, I called them, but they didn't help me. So now what am I supposed to do? You know, but this, once again, this type of thing should not be happening. Those kids' life meant something, you know, and they should not have died from
No.
lack of having heat, lack of having a roof over their head. And we could provide for everybody else that come to this country through the borders. Why we cannot take care of the people here? Why is it that when she dialed that number, nobody told her how to locate the other resources? Like here in Miami, we have 211 or 311. So if
Yeah.
somebody is calling here to ask for help, maybe it's a service that we don't provide, but I could say, hey, call 311 because they're gonna tell you where to go. They got several numbers they can give you, and you need to follow up and call these people. You know, people, I just want to say, if you out there and you going through a situation like that, don't give up because you don't get the answers the first time you make that call. You know, don't give up like that. Life is never easy. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep pushing. Don't give up just because you get turned away the first time. A lot of these agencies that receive millions and millions of dollars, they play the zip code game. So what that means is that if you're not from their zip code, they're not going to necessarily serve you. When you come here to Curly's house, we don't do that. I don't care where you're from. If you need help, we're going to help you. We don't turn people away. Okay. So once again, when you call these places, ask them for the hotline numbers. If you do not have one, so you can find out where are the services located. Even if you go into a soup kitchen, talk to people, let them know, hey, I'm homeless, I'm staying in a van, I'm staying in my car, I don't have any gas money, I don't have
Janine
any
said the
food for my
illegals are taking it
kids.
all.
Huh?
Janine said the illegals are taking up the homeless spots in the
Yeah,
soup
they
kitchen.
she's right. She's right. And that's the problem throughout the United States. That's the real problem. And it
Or
is a real
50
problem.
million for
But
condoms. 50 million for condoms. Like in another country.
okay, also I don't see it on this list, but I think it was some country in India. They was giving them so many millions to circumcise something with the foreskins or babies or something. But back to what I was saying, people push for their information, find those numbers, find where the soup kitchens are, because once you get in there, you can talk to people that will help you. It's always somebody willing to help you. You just got to keep pushing and don't give up. Don't give up. That's the key.
Right.
Do not give up.
G, do you have another clip?
G.
Now, I wanted to talk about this. I don't know if you all saw this, but it's going around that Elon Musk's son X told Trump,
How great is
I
that
wish
for
you
the
would
Oh my God, there he
shut
is
your
again.
fucking
No!
mouth
Oh!
and
He's
go
gonna put his
away.
booger
You're
fingers
not
on the
president.
presidential desk.
And the prices from one year to the next are the same, and their mortgage, all their debt payments dropped.
This kid.
How great is that for the
Oh my
average
God,
American?
there he is again. No! Oh!
So
What
Did he
he
put
say?
it under
Shut
the
your
desk?
fucking mouth.
seemed that little X, that's Elon Musk's son, was saying to President Trump, I wish you to shush up and go away. You're not the president. This little boy right here. So if you watch closely.
And their
Shut your mouth to President Trump.
just the next are the same, and their
Oh,
their mortgage,
Yeah.
all their debt payments dropped.
This one right here.
From one year to the next are the same, and their
When I tell you yesterday in DC how much of a conversation that clip was, there's going to be something done about this because the little boy doesn't know much. He would only be repeating what he has heard. So for him to say, I wish you would shush your mouth. And there's a second part in that clip where he says,
Did he say your mouth or did he say your effing mouth?
I know
Look
he
like
said
to me
mouth.
He said your effing mouth because I was reading his lips, okay?
So, and he's
He
talking to
said,
President Trump.
look, yeah, he looked like he said effing mouth.
And there's another clip where he says, you're not the president anyway. So there's going to be some changes. There was an initial change when Elon became, I guess, chief of technology for the administration as opposed to leading Doge. There's about to be another announcement due to that clip because in DC yesterday, all heads rolled. The conversation was pretty much nothing but about that clip. So we're going to find out.
but his kid doesn't even have manners. You know what I'm saying? Like his kid, you know,
Because you know, y'all, back in our day, if we would have said something like that, first of all, your mama would have slapped your ass into a whole nother country.
Quit.
Then your
Quit.
grandma and granddaddy would have kicked your ass into another country. And
Quit.
your neighbors would have got you too.
Quit.
Because I remember when I said the word lie, oh my God. My grandma slapped me so hard. What? You know, we couldn't even say the word lie. We had to say telling a story. We couldn't
Yeah.
use the word lie. You know,
I
And
wish you would. I wish I would dig in my nose in public. I would just
I
get
know,
knocked
right?
out. Like, what is that? I mean, I get he's a little boy and little boys do that, but you are in the Oval Office. But I think, you know, Elon was put on blast due to the actions of his son, because who else is his little son talking to, and who else is his son around? So that is very, very telling on what's going on in DC right now, because it was definitely a real conversation amongst a lot of different people. And I just also wanted to say about DC yesterday, you all got to see Pam Bondi announce that they are pressing charges against Letitia James and
Yeah.
Governor Kathy Hochul in New York. Well, word on the street is charges are going to be pressed against somebody else that I have a personal interest in. And
yes, Fannie Willis.
Yes. And so I will be delivering evidence for those charges.
good. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. You got to catch her in a moment where you could just read her. Like read her real good when you get that chance.
I'm going to let the evidence show. I don't need to read her because she is already, you know, put herself into a hole that she cannot dig herself. Now I will help bury her, but I don't have the time to read somebody who got on a nationwide stand and said, you know, I don't drink wine, I drink Grey Goose. So,
oh wow, she sure
did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now she's throwing fundraisers with Jasmine Crockett as her mistress of ceremonies, because she's got to raise money for her legal fees, because there is no question that her day is coming. Congress is actually going to have a hearing against with 4 of her employees. One, which was her chief investigator, Mike Hill, who I have recorded evidence of him breaking the law. So all of that was submitted yesterday. But like I said, it was an amazing day in DC yesterday. Everybody is feeling very patriotic for the direction of this country. The only person that I didn't get a chance to talk to yesterday was the press secretary, but I'm sure I'll have another opportunity. But everybody's on board. Anybody who is in the GOP who was thinking about, you know, stepping in the way of Trump, there's a major sense of unity in DC right now within the party, and he'll be able to continue to make moves, and I'm very happy to be in support of that. We haven't heard much about Israel lately, so I'm hoping those favors have been, you know, divvied out. But now I think we're on course, just from some of the conversations yesterday, we are on course to make America great again.
Yeah, even with Ukraine, we've just been given and given and given, but Trump is like, now it's time to give back. Now it's time to give back. And they're looking, and I believe Zelensky is already agreeing to give us access to some of those precious metals that they have out there in Ukraine. And I'm like, why are we just doing this now? Why have we just been putting out and giving everything to them when they could have some reciprocity? Like, there has to be something in it for us to be out there. That's just how it's been. You know, unless it's something where it's a humanitarian crisis, just, you know, to protect your interests in a war that has nothing to do with us, they have to give something back. And I heard Zelensky's like, all right, what you need? How much? We'll start digging. So there is a lot of advancement.
He doesn't have a choice at this point. President Trump actually had a very elongated call with Vladimir Putin yesterday in regards to ending this war. And he laid out definitively that it's going to end. So I don't even think that Vladimir Zelensky even has any say in this, because the war is already over. They've lost over 1 million soldiers in the war against Russia, and that's a huge number. Even so, they were bringing in elderly people to fight in the war. That's how desperate they were for manpower and soldiers. So the war is over. The war has been over. We've all known that, you know, Ukraine had lost this war. We were just under these false pretenses of the Biden administration saying, oh, we're sending more money because, you know, they need it and we can help them fight to win this war. No, you were all siphoning this money. And I'm sure now that Vladimir Zelensky has no other alternative other than to show, look, this person said they were sending us this money. We never got it. We did get this money, but we gave this amount of money back. I think the tattletelling is about to start because there's no, if he isn't having anybody send him missiles and warheads and, you know, warfare materials, and he has no money, there is no war. So I'm looking forward to the tattletelling to start. I know he's gonna start snitching. He's got to snitch. I think that has to be part of the negotiations. You know, we need this information. We need it.
Okay, we got a clip coming.
Okay.
It was U.S. aid that I fear much more than the CIA, because the U.S. aid is how CIA gets shit done.
USAID is clearly in the job of trying to bring about regime change. It has secret bank accounts, shell companies.
USAID gets $50 billion a year in U.S. taxpayer money. That's a larger overt fund than the CIA has.
USAID perhaps is the new CIA.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably.
This is not just about over there. This is about here.
They have a process, a system by which they destroy other nations, and they use that same process and system in order to destroy the United States.
It's a plot against our own people.
America, what if I told you that the United States government was acting like the world's Gestapo, using organizations like USAID under the pretense of humanitarian aid to topple governments, install politicians, and orchestrate regime changes in third world countries?
I disagree with that as somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat. Not here, but, you know, other places.
These are places that are practically entirely run at this point by the CIA and the U.S. State Department, which is, of course, a CIA front.
USAID provides most of the money.
This isn't a giveaway.
The State Department provides the policy vision.
This makes a difference to people's perception of us. Tricky endeavors, whether it's fighting terrorism,
Al-Shabaab groups in USAID camps,
or narcotics.
Joe Biden's State Department is commanding the Taliban to keep the opium flowing.
Or oppression or resistance to governance.
Those USAID trucks were stopped at the border to Venezuela with fully automatic weapons.
All of those things.
I don't think that's humanitarian aid.
What a difference that makes.
And if we stand for democracy anywhere, we have to stand for it everywhere, including in Guatemala.
There you have it.
Wow.
The new CIA or the former CIA. I mean, $50 billion is larger than the CIA budget. That's very, very telling. So I'm hoping that whoever it is that what is his name? Is it Rand Paul? Rand Paul, I think, is joining Doge at this point. I've always liked him. You know, I think he's an old school politician that actually had the better interest of Americans at heart. So I'm looking forward to, you know, him because he's a very in-depth politician. He's actually uncovered some things that, you know, no other politician even would have the guts to do. So I'm very happy that he's playing ball. Like I said, you know, there's an overwhelming consensus of unity in DC right now, and we're on track. We are definitely on track to make America great.
Hey, I want to say hello to Kelly. I see her in the room, and Miss RS, who says Jasmine Crockett must be exposed and removed from Congress.
Yes.
She is an embarrassment to intelligent Black women.
I'm gonna do a parody.
That's so true.
I'm gonna get some get some dark brown foundation. I'm gonna get a bad wig. I'm gonna get some lashes and some fake Chanel with some hair glue on the side of my head. I am going to do a parody on Jasmine Crockett because
get all your supplies from the Dollar General. Get all the supplies from Dollar General. You'll be straight.
I am so tired of her. I'm tired of her saying, "Oh, y'all gonna find out." When did the only persona for a Black woman in politics become so ghetto. And it's embarrassing for those of us who spend all of our lives just, you know, displaying couth, being presentable. And I actually started getting people to help me film this. I'm about to become Jasmine Crockett, and I think you guys are gonna find. I think it's gonna be a great production. And just, you know, her, you know, some of her language against President Trump, and just, you know, her overall just appearance and how she displays herself. That's not cute. You know, it's a bad thing for Black women everywhere. And the Black women who applaud her, I'm wondering, you know, what's happening to the Black women who are supposed to be queens? What's happening that you all think that that's okay, that we should turn the government ghetto? Forget white men. We're going to run the government now. The government is about to be hood. There is nothing intelligent about that. And quite frankly, it saddens me because it's so embarrassing. I feel embarrassed as a Black woman sometimes, even though I shouldn't, because I don't think that, you know, as far as human beings, we are not the same. But it's embarrassing if you care anything about the image of Black women in America. It should hurt you, because it hurts me sometimes that is what that they put that in power in Texas. You know, I'm saddened by it, and so I'm going to.
Yeah, they took Aunt Jemima off the box and gave us her.
And Uncle Ben, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they're all gone, you know, but Black people wanted them gone because, oh, we shouldn't have Aunt Jemima on a pancake. But guess what now? We've got Pearl Mining Company, you know, so the history of this woman, the history of this woman who worked so hard to build this pancake business, her legacy is now gone. After this generation, nobody's going to remember. And I'm so upset. But Uncle Ben, I mean, these people, you know, we just barely had Uncle Nearest, who actually made the recipe for Jack Daniels. We just had his, you know, legacy revived. But Black women destroyed these two iconic Black figures in history, and they will continue to destroy Black America if we allow it. And I'm just there's a clip. I don't know if you all know this X personality, but G, if you have the clip of the girl on X saying that she hates being Black, and we all know her because she's a conservative. I put a clip up of her posts for today. G, if you could please run that. She says, you know what? I'm in a body of color that I don't relate to. I can kind of understand her on that. But listen, if we could blow that up. But do you guys know Shamika Shoal on X?
Oh, what? No, she said that?
I'm hoping G can blow this up. But yes.
We get her on the show, Travian.
I will, because you know, she started off as saying, you know, maybe I shouldn't be on X today because I'm in a really bad mood. And she said, I also hate being Black, always have and always will. I'm trapped inside a skin I do not relate to. And she said, being pretty will never fix my depression. I'm a Black KKK member, except I have no issue with Jews. They have always been kind to me. I hate niggers. I only like clean Black people. And people were, as she said, oops, my intrusive thoughts won again. And she was like, it's not fair that Black people can abuse their kids and get a month dedicated to them, always pretending to be victims. So I'm trying to figure out how you go from just, you know, make America great again and being such a, trying to be such a pivotal part of, you know, this movement, into going to where I hate being Black and I always have and I always will. I'm in a skin that I don't relate to. Yeah, there are things as Black people we don't relate to other Black people, but there's also white people and then there's white trash. So do you equivocate yourself to this hating yourself for being white because there's white trash, or do you hate yourself for being Black because you have what she said, niggers? No, this is I was embarrassed by her doing this today.
Down a little bit. No, the one with Maxine Waters.
So yeah,
Right there.
yeah, she was I thought she was wrong today. I don't know if she's suffering from
She said she was
depression.
suffering from depression.
Yeah, but at the same time, depression doesn't make you say you hate me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you depressed because you're black? What are you depressed at? You know what I mean? And I told her, I said, you know, I commented on it. I said, you know, I didn't see that on the bingo card today of you saying you hated being black and you always will. I'm trying, and all you do is make AI generated images of powerful looking black women. So that's her. She makes these AI images of black women looking classy and beautiful. How can you hate to be that? You know, who are you right now? Are you trying to be a Kanye West and it's not working out for you?
Obviously she's in a pretty dark place right about now. And she said she's going through some type of depression. So maybe it's just something that she's going through, you know, that she just need to maybe talk to someone about it, you know, and get some help. Get some help.
I mean,
because one thing about it, well, I can't even damn say that. I just can't even damn say that because I was getting ready to say, you know, she can't change from being black, but that's a lie because, you know, I'm going to tell y'all something.
Beyonce did it.
Yeah, bear with me, baby. Bear with me right now, okay? Because I know people personally, that was the color of my jacket, okay? Now they're lighter than I am, okay? So I can't even say you can't change from being black because a lot of them that I know are no longer black, and especially with the island women, they always bleaching their skin to like,
it's
you
a
know,
$1 billion business.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And then you see people and their face is one color and their hands are another and the neck is another. And you look
All
at
of
it
this.
like, what the hell is going on? You know? So yeah, you can't change. I mean, look at Tiny. What she did. She changed her eye color, right?
Eye color, yeah.
Yes.
You say it all the time. I've been black all my life. I can't imagine. I can't imagine not being me. Like, you know how some people do polls and they say if you could come back as somebody else, there's greatness in us. Like, first of all, America, we just gotta just keep that going on because it is the benchmark for how everybody else is trying to do what they're doing right now. But I cannot see. I don't want white people problems. I don't want Indian people problems. I already know what problems that we got, and we don't got that bad of a problem that's different from anybody else's problem. So why would I not want to be me? I mean, she is I'm kind of really shocked because everyone that she gets it a lot where people call her out of her character, where people will say that, you know, you're a coon and all this other stuff, and she would just own it. But maybe it is getting to her because she must feel, and that's what I don't like when they try to box us in to not being who we are when they talk about conservative black women. We're rest assured. We're not trying to do us or do anything else. Yeah, we black, but we're American. But if she feels that being black American is pigeonholed into one stereotype of how you got to be, of course you're not going to like yourself at the end of the day. You can be whatever you want to be. The skin don't keep you boxed into who your abilities are. And that's what she was all about. She made money off that skin. But now you're going to have a problem with it?
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give her some sympathy. I think it's Kelly that said maybe she's having a breakdown because, you know, people do go through mental breakdown. So maybe she's having a mental breakdown. So prayers of God give her strength. And I hope she will be able to get some help.
Right. Don't do it on X.
Needs.
Don't do it on X. Because any type of help you think you're going to get on X, it's fake. X is not real. It's social media. So
you know, even though a lot of things are not real, it's real to some people. It's real to some people. You know, you got to realize that social media gave people a life that didn't even have a life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you are at the airport, what is everybody doing? Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's on some type of social media page. So social media has truly given people a life that didn't even have a life before, and made others very famous, like TikTok. Look at all the young people that became famous, from these TikTok videos. So even though this may not be real to some people, it is really real to others. It is really real to others. And right now, at the end of the day, this girl just needs some help. Period. Because
Or touch grass.
she is not.
When you think of the expression, people throw it around a lot when they say go outside, touch grass. You have a life that's outside of here where you can see and be grateful for everything that you have. Trevion and Laverne, the work that you guys do, it humbles you. But I agree. If this is your life, just being on here all day long to gain your relevance, I can imagine when your algorithm get hit and you start to drop down, you're going to start, Trump won. That ended careers for a lot of people because now you got to change up. Candace Owens changed up. A lot of people are looking to diversify what they're all about. And if you've only been this one thing and you didn't touch grass, you're going to feel that pain. It's going to hurt. And she's been rolling with it for so long. I agree. I pray for her. I'm going to pray for her because I'm thinking about it. And you got to just do it because you're doing it, not because it gives you relevance. I know
that part.
You know what I'm saying? Like Trevion, you've been fighting and still fighting, still keep on going because it's about America. It's not about you.
Real life. Because if Twitter goes away, all of those people were never relevant. You know what I'm saying? If it goes away, if the platform crashes for 2 days, you're a nobody for 2 days. So I want people to realize, look, Laverne feeds people in real life,
real life,
helps people. This is what people need to understand. This social media game, it has inflated you you're waiting for that moment that somebody puts that pin in you because it's going to happen. No platform lasts forever. You see Facebook decline, Instagram decline. Twitter, we don't know. They've got to change it into monetary payment systems or something for it to continue to grow and have relevancy. But people need to realize social media is not real because when that screen shuts off, you got to look in the mirror. And who are you then? What are you doing that is in real life helping to change this country, your city, your community? What are you doing? And that's what I want people to get back to because these fake lives that these social media platforms have given you, it's going to come to an end. And guess what? You'll probably be in depression, hating the fact that you're white or black because nobody knows who you are anymore because they don't get to hear whatever thoughts you have 6 times a day. So you're irrelevant. If you are a social media icon, personality, you are irrelevant in real life until you get out and you do something in your community, you change some lives. Outside of that, I don't even want to hear it because it's fake. And it makes me mad that people believe that they're now somebody on a social media platform. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm sitting there saying, where was that USAID for you, Laverne? Don't you need a building?
Right there.
Yeah, I need a building so people don't have to stand out there in the rain getting food with their little babies.
Right.
I need a building. I need funding to operate my program like so many organizations
and we're gonna get that
do throughout the United States. So where this damn money at? That's the only way we can get it is to push some LGBT shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. Come on.
But
so we got to tell Sharika, if you want to find some purpose in your life, help my sister right here.
Right.
Help her. Use your voice. She can use her voice to let people know that you're doing something real in your community. Give yourself some value with what you're doing other than running your mouth. Give yourself some value. She has a huge platform, so I'm going to hit her up. I'm going to say, do something rewarding. Travel. Get on an airplane. Go out there, support Laverne and what she's doing, and that will make you feel real good.
Right.
Because something is redeeming. You do it all the time. How many, 30 years?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it's not easy. It's It's
And
not easy at all. And Travian, when you come to Miami, make sure you stop by. You know,
I am.
we
You,
do
I
our.
tried to stop by last time. You was not available.
But you know, I had a situation.
I know.
I had a situation that thank God for victory in it.
Exactly.
You know, God didn't say we
Exactly.
wouldn't have situations, but you
Right.
know, when you do His will, He always bring you through, and I
Yep.
could give Him the glory for that. You know, but we feed Tuesdays and Thursdays right here. And I'm gonna tell you, it is so many old people out there that are like 70, 80, and 90 years old. And these people just lift up. I mean, if you get them a 30-pound bag of rice, they gonna lift that thing up, put it on top of their head, and they walking with it. I be like, oh my God, you know, to see them and how active they are. It's just amazing. It's so amazing. And I just thank God, you know, that He's using me to do that. And you know, he know he needed a soldier. And he got that right here. I want to say hello to Benji. Benji, we see you. You know, Benji, you were supposed to be out here with us today.
Yeah,
But
Benji.
anyway, yeah, Benji, but we see you are out there. And to everybody else, please retweet the show and also follow the guests. Follow the guests for the ladies. And you know, Travian posts a lot on her page, and she always has the latest information about what is going on out here. So y'all follow her on her page, retweet the information, and help us build our followers up. Also, Sophia, the same thing. You know, Sophia, she has a lot of information on her page as well. So please follow us and follow Benji too. He's in the audience, but he's everywhere. Benji is everywhere.
He's an
I
OG.
text you. Talking about why you ain't call me. I text you. And this was my busy day. So, you know, especially being out there in that line this morning and in that sun with those people, it is a lot, y'all. It is really a lot. But you know,
You
just
said
watching
sun?
people in the
I
sun.
ain't got
But
nothing
watch,
but fog.
I got you, BNJ. I'm gonna send it to you. But let me he asked for the cash app, the Curlies. But let me G, if you have it, put it up there. But let me tell you something. Just knowing that we are helping people to be able to make it through, you know. This lady was out there this morning. She had her daughter, right? And I'm looking at the little girl. She has grown up. She's like 5 years old. But I remember seeing her in the stroller when she was a baby, you know. Now she's almost 5. And I was looking at them, you know, and when you look at the people, at least you can see they are being blessed when they come to Curly's, because you know, if that lady was here, those kids wouldn't have died in that van, because
Right.
they would have been able to get plenty of food, and we would have made sure she got some help from some agency, because all agencies can call other agencies and say, hey, we need some help with this person here, you know, and make sure that they get in a program or at least find a bed for a night, whatever we could do. You know, we are here for that. So truly, this program is a saving grace.
Yes.
And we are very thankful for that. And you know, whatever we could do to help people, that's what we are here for at the end of the day. And I also want to say congratulations, y'all. You know, RJK is
Today.
in.
Yes.
Boom, boom. He's in there. Tulsi
He's
Gabbard.
in there.
Yesterday. She was confirmed yesterday. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it was an amazing day in DC. The power, you could feel the power of us, you know, turning this country back around, and just
in
knowing
3
that,
weeks.
yeah, in
3
3
weeks.
weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like unheard of, you know, and we're back. We are so
Cash
back.
next. They just holding him back. They just really scared.
Yeah, but he made it out of committee.
Yeah.
So we're up for the final vote now, and I'm sure he'll be confirmed. You know, he's ready, and like I said, I'm happy that I'm able to participate in taking down, you know, a person who tried to take down our great president, who has done so much for this country and worked so hard. We don't even know if he's sleeping, because he could send a text at 2 a.m.
No.
I mean, a Twitter post at 2 a.m. So we have the hardest working man in that Oval Office that we could ever, ask for. And he's a humble man, and he doesn't take no for an answer. So what it is that this country needs, I'm pretty sure we're on the verge of getting it.
You got me stuck on little X. I'm like, how do you,
Look, that's all people talked about yesterday. Like,
come on.
How could that be? Who is he getting that information from? Why would that happen? Why is he wiping boogers on the desk? Why is he playing on the floor in front of the desk? And they're comparing that to the iconic message or the photo of little JFK, in the office. So. It was a.
And Laverne, you have me dying. She said we're gonna pull the sheets off after saying LGBT. You said we're gonna pull the sheet off. I was like, no, maybe not.
The whole movement.
I'm just not ready.
The whole LGBT movement is about population control. That's why we have all of these billions of dollars going towards this movement, but it's not about celebrating any of that. They don't care about those people. The bottom line is they have to reduce the population. And how do you do that? Make everybody gay, make everybody trans, where they're not reproducing.
Tell everybody to get the COVID shot.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so, that's really
that did the trick.
Yep, it surely did the trick, because now people.
And it's just so amazing. To me, it was just so amazing that, for people that claim that they are Christians, and for the ones that claim that they believe in the Bible. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't go to church every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But I believe in God.
Right.
So when God's word say, by my stripes you are healed. So why is it that they feel like, because some people told them that they're going to die, that they just needed to run and take that damn shot, And so many people died from that shot. So many people became instantly paralyzed. And look at all the young people that was dropping dead on the fields.
my automatic curtain button. The curtain just like
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell going on?
You know how you have automatic blinds, and
it was like a Marilyn Monroe type of flowing thing, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on over here?
I don't know how who put the button, but it just like started going. Zzz. Anyway. Oh shoot! What the heck? I can't even.
See, you can run that clip.
Can you please add one sentence to exempt pedophilia or minor attracted persons from an evolving sexuality? And they refuse to do it. It tells kids, this is what it says, step by step. Number 1, upload a tiny picture of yourself to the app. Number 2, the app works out your location. Number 3, the app tells you who the nearest homosexuals are. Number 4, you then chat with them. Number 5, because they are near, it's easy to meet up with them. I said, why is this in the Knowledge Mobile? And he said, I'm getting pressured by commissioners and politicians. They are using the suicide hotline as an indoctrination tool to normalize all of these genders. They had a gay men's club, but the tagline was, let's talk about boys. The Trevor Space, this whole suicide prevention and how they are using this as a cover-up for something that I believe is using our schools as a pipeline to human trafficking. I spoke at the National Educators Association. They let me speak, but when I brought up the Trevor Project, the president, Becky Pringle, cut me off immediately. The Trevor Project is a sacred cow. You cannot touch it.
Wow. Trevor Project is big.
Well,
real big.
I'm just gonna say, I don't know what my curtains are doing, but they trying to sell me. I don't know if God is pushing the button to make them cut, because I pulled them back once I'm done. They're still, now they're moving up. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
Look at your smile. You're such a beautiful smile.
I don't know what's going on with these curtain blinds. Oh my God. Okay. But yes. Whew. Did you hear that Jesse Jackson Jr. is demanding a pardon now from President Trump since he couldn't get one from Kamala, who lost the election? Gee,
Wow.
do you have this clip? Because it astounds me that now he's talking about the 70,000 Americans who have paid their dues in full and now need retribution. Yeah, this is him saying he's mad because former governor Rod Blagojevich out of Illinois was granted a full pardon after being granted clemency. But now he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, get this done for all of these other people. No, you're selfish like your father. Your father, all he did was suck up and take money from the Clintons. He was someone who the government used to put Black people in their place and be led by somebody who, just because he had the words, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. That speech of Jesse Jackson's plagued Black people forever, because guess what? When he told them that, they took all the resources from Black America. And then the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Yes.
Anybody that you saw that may have had money, oh, you got to pay us. They blackmailed so many people for money with Jesse Jackson at the head. You're out here doing campaign fraud. You go to prison. You should know better. Your daddy is Jesse Jackson. Y'all not reverends over there. All y'all doing is taking money from anybody y'all can get it from. And people in Chicago can be mad at me, but they all know it's true. So I don't think that he deserves a pardon, because you know the lay of the land in politics. Your father has dabbled for 50 years. Are you struggling with pain, swelling? So I'm just saying, no pardon for Jesse Jackson Jr. from Donald Trump. They went against Trump harder than anybody that I ever heard of in Illinois on behalf of Kamala. So no, you get nothing. And don't try and use other people to push your agenda for yourself, because you're selfish.
Jackson Jr., who addressed the public today about a pardon.
Did you know if Mark Lovelace?
Who?
Mark Lovelace. He was part of the Rainbow Push Coalition along with Jesse Jackson.
I tried staying away from that. I knew Marty King, but Marty King, his name was actually Martin Luther King. He worked for Rainbow Push for a while, but I think Marty King was a great guy. And I think the reason why he left Rainbow Push is because he didn't want to be involved in any of that hoopla and under the table stuff. And I'm going to call it probable extortion in a lot of ways.
That's how it was going down.
Yeah,
because Mark Lovelace, he passed away not too long ago. And he was involved with this LGBTQ artist in Harlem, and they were going to do a big benefit to promote, LGBTQ in the Black community. All these different hip hop artists came out. This was back in like 2008, 2001, 2004.
Okay.
Got all the money from the Chicago for the whole LGBTQ funding that you got. Nobody got paid. No show happened. People paid out of their pocket to travel, so they didn't reimburse travel expenses. Everybody had to go home vexed, empty-handed. And this was one of the loud voices that was right up there with Jesse Jackson. And that's what made me start to think twice. You said it's not a surprise. It's deplorable, but I would wonder how much money went to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to start, like you said, the list is going to start to come out where we see the loudest people start to show up with that. And wanting to get a pardon, I wouldn't be surprised if his name is going to roll up eventually in all of this, that we're finding out all this malfeasance that's going down. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
he gets nothing.
They're good for using the plight of others to get what it is that they want for their own agenda. And this is what I will say. specifically, I will fight against anybody thinking they will take the request of a pardon for Jesse Jackson Jr. to Donald Trump. I will fight against that for myself, because I saw what you said about Trump. I saw what you did to try and evade him from becoming president. No. You don't get to play on the plight of other people, because that's all you and your father have done your entire lives. So no, you got an enemy right here. So,
G, could you play that clip? Hello, G. Don't look like it. Okay.
Where you at, G? Where you at?
Where are you at, G?
Where you at? Where you at, G? Where you at? There he is.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think you got to go back.
Well, Dina and Patrick, a good morning to the both of you. We heard from Jesse Jackson Jr., who addressed the public today about a pardon he didn't receive. Now, this comes after Ron Blagojevich received his clean slate yesterday. Now, former 1st District Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. addressed the public during the West Side Faith and Community Leaders Network monthly meeting. Jackson served 17 years in Congress. He resigned in 2012 amid a criminal investigation. Jackson Jr. was sentenced to 30 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to conspiring to defraud his re-election campaign. Today, he discussed how he aggressively campaigned for Democratic nominee Kamala Harris and how he couldn't vote due to his 2013 conviction for campaign fraud. After Harris's defeat in November, Jackson Jr., along with his father, civil rights leader Jesse Jackson Sr., appealed to then President Joe Biden for a pardon for himself and the 77 million people who he says are currently marginalized from voting and excluded from numerous employment opportunities. Just yesterday, former Governor Rod Blagojevich, who was sentenced to 14 years in prison on a wide array of corruption charges, was pardoned by President Donald Trump. The former governor has maintained his stance on never breaking any laws.
There's 7 million men and women in our nation who paid their debt to society in full. Don't owe America nothing else. Have never reoffended. It's time to demand an emancipation proclamation for them.
Jackson Jr. contends that if those 77 million people are pardoned, they would owe their allegiance to Trump and the Republican Party. Now, also, he mentioned the letter that he and his father wrote back in 2019 asking President Trump to pardon Blagojevich. For now, reporting live in the cities.
No. Stop using Black people and other people's plight for your agenda. No, you didn't care about those 70 million people before you went to jail. You didn't care about them while you were in jail. You didn't care about them until you couldn't vote. And guess what? You committed fraud. Fraud is a bad thing. Like, you didn't just accidentally do something. You're a fraud, okay? You might have went to jail and they gave you a soft sentence of 30 months, okay? So you've been getting off easy your whole life. It stops now. No, absolutely not. No way. And
if Hillary didn't get one, he shouldn't get one.
Right. If I see you in the street, I'm going to tell you, no. It's very possible I can run into him at any given time. But when I see him on the street, I'll tell him the same thing. It's time out for you and your father using the plights of other people to get an agenda that's personal to you. And that's what I know from being in Chicago as long as I've been here. No, absolutely not. No. So keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
If you can see it, you can achieve it. Because I am.
Oh man, that was mad crazy.
I am somebody. My mind.
Meanwhile, DEI happened.
I can see anything in the world. No. I'm sorry. No.
People, we coming to the end of this show today.
Yay.
I don't want to keep G up any longer. So y'all remember, please join us next week. Same place, same time, right here on X on Thursdays at 3. We are here. If I'm unable to make it for any reason, Travian got it. She got it. So, Travian, in closing.
I want to thank you all for tuning in. I had a lot of fun today. I hope you guys had fun too. We'll be back, just like Laverne said, next week, Thursday, 3 p.m. Central. And follow me, please. I will keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington since, miraculously, I've been invited to a bunch of different stuff. So I want to keep you on the invite list too. So thank you all, and I'll see you next week.
And Sophia.
Oh my gosh. If you follow me, you're going to hear about USAID. I'm just saying that what we see in Doge, you see it in your local government. Start paying attention. Oh my goodness, we got to get Curly's house a building. We got to start bringing that USAID money here and at home. But start paying attention. Start linking up, following, sharing all of our information. Because the more that we share and the more that you share, then everybody going to be in the know. So absolutely. Thank you again, both of y'all, for having me here today. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. I'm pulling sheets off and little X is acting crazy.
For real.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Benji, for your donation to Curly's house. We got it. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined in today. Kelly, Janie, Nora, everybody else. Miss IRS and everybody else. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Love my Marley. Okay. Everybody else, thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you all same place next week. If it's God's will, we will be here right on your Hood Conservative podcast with your hosts, Laverne Spicer and Travian.
I'm gonna turn
Thank
the
you
camera
very
around.
much.
I'm gonna turn the camera around so everybody can see Trump Tower taking us out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Thank you.
See y'all next
I
week.
live vicariously
Bye.
for you.
Okay, y'all. Y'all have a great one. We out.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Laverne Spicer, and I'm asking for your support today. Thousands of Americans struggle to get food, and they wonder where their next meal is going to come from. But I'm here, been working with them for over 25 years to provide food to people that need it the most, right here at our community food bank. So today, I'm asking you for your support. Please provide a contribution to help make a real difference in our community and to help us feed people. And you can do it right here. Donate today on Cash App, and you will see the link above.